Hello, everybody. My name is Marco Trigueros, and I am going to share an article that I read with all of you. The whole purpose of the article is to illustrate the market model and the Paulus model that are in play. The article is called "This Doctor Survived a Spinal Injury. Now Debt Collectors Are Hounding Him." Oh my God, scary. Uh, so just like what it sounds like, the article is about this doctor who has a degree in health policy, was surfing, and he fell down into the ocean, and there was sand, and he broke his neck. People were able to resuscitate him, give him CPR, take him to a hospital. He actually, fortunately, went to an area that saved his life. They were able to fix his injury, even though he was paralyzed, he was able to recover some of his movement. As he healed, he was able to. As he healed, he started to get a bunch of bills from his insurance because he realized that the hospital that he went to was out of network. And so the whole purpose of this of this article was out of network insurance in an emergency situation, and the struggle of this doctor to pay off his loans. The whole point of the story was that, even him, somebody who's very well educated, still has a $30,000 debt. He can no longer work because of his injury, so he cannot pay off his loan, and yet, his credit will be destroyed if he does not pay off his loan. The examples that are here are both the two examples I wanted to bring out was kind of like the idea of the market and the idea of the polis. Fortunately, there is a law in California that does not allow dumping of bills on patients in situations where there is an emergency and where they needed to go. So that's essentially what the law in California is, so the example of the market model is the insurance group, right? That is trying to that is fighting with the patient in terms of paying off all those bills and how much they're gonna cover, right? The argument of the doctor is that, he was unconscious. He could not choose his in-network hospital. And so, as a result, he should not be penalized for that. And essentially, after explaining that this was an emergency, that he was unconscious, that he could not make his decisions on where to go, he has had to fight at every level with the market style, the insurer that he has, who's trying to look for its profit, or is trying not to pay that much for the bills, and so he finds barrier after barrier after barrier. He has to negotiate, he has to talk to people, he has to try to find out, if even some of the doctors are willing to reduce some of the cost involved for his emergent surgery. And so that's essentially kind of like the idea of the market, right? Where there's specific rules that there's specific rules. The whole idea is an individual trying to make money, trying to save costs, trying to compete with other markets in the insurance field, right? And so finally, and then on the other side, you have here that the policy that that probably helped him a little bit. that does not allow bills to be dumped on patients on emergent situations, and that part reflects more the policy model of the community trying to look out for of policies that are in place made by people that are in groups and different organizations, people trying to prevent from for these catastrophic events to happen to individuals where they are indebted with so much money, and can no longer work for it. Obviously, one market, money oriented, the other one more like it's more values that are looking out for the community, that are more passionate, that see more the emotional side of how this can affect people for the rest of their lives. Okay, thank you.